Beyond the brutal killings of peaceful demonstrators, places like Gaza, as the chairman mentioned, the worst human rights violations occur in detention facilities, where dozens of methods of torture have been documented by observers and researchers. This United Nations Human Rights Commission of Inquiry that I mentioned had numerous testimonies from detainees and former detainees of the kinds of torture applied against detainees, including even children. And you mentioned, Mr. Chairman, the case of Hamza al-Khatib, which is only one of many, many examples. I have to say, contacts of ours at the embassy in Syria, people that I and my staff knew personally, told us about horrible experiences that they had had. Just atrocious. Syrian security forces, even today, are still entering restive neighborhoods and towns and cities, for example, Homs and some of the suburbs of Damascus, Idlib, Tara. They are arbitrarily detaining people, especially men, usually between the ages of 16 and 45, but even sometimes women and children. The men, particularly, are often subjected to torture, abuse, and humiliation. So let me say here that the United States strongly supports accountability for the crimes committed by the Syrian regime. Beyond the need for justice, we believe that the collection of evidence and the calls for accountability from the international community will convince more regime force commanders and members of those security forces to resist orders to commit human rights violations and ultimately abandon their loyalty to the regime.